Mexico, Africa, Asia, all over this beautiful globe, New Bedford, Massachusetts has had its touch. We have been there, folks. There isn't a place around the globe that we haven't been to, our ships haven't sailed to. And we welcome you to a special segment of Morning Show as we are, as Coastal Magazine writes, fishing for knowledge. And we celebrate another signature event, and that is the Working Waterfront Festival with two of our favorites, the director Laura Orleans and, of course, Kirsten Bendiksen. Both of you are integral parts of Working Waterfront Festival. It's synonymous with Laura and Kirsten. Good morning, and bring those microphones over here. And
good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you. How is 2015 in terms of how many years now?
12.
Does it seem that long?
Yes and no. What
yes
do you
and no.
Yes and no.
Yes.
When I talk to the girls though, and I hear when we started, their kids were so young.
Yes.
They were babies.
In that
now,
way, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we just sent my daughter to college, and I think she was 7.
You see?
So yeah.
Well, you can still
in that way,
see
yes.
her in that T-shirt.
Yeah. And when we look back at photos, we've aged a little bit.
Oh, boy,
Well, but you know what hasn't aged is the lure and the beauty and the knowledge that you get from this fabulous signature event. That stays permanent, doesn't it?
I think so, and I think there's always there are many new things to learn every time, all the time. So
what's new this year?
Oh, well, on Saturday we are debuting a fishing gear fashion show. Now, this is an event. This is something that I wanted to do from the very, very beginning, and it's taking a lot of effort to pull it all together, but it's going to be well worth it. It's going to be a blast. We have, I think, 15 models. Many of them active young fishermen, so, you know, cutest guys out there in the scallop fleet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going to be looking at how fishing gear changed over time, different gear for different fisheries, safety gear, of course, and then sort of the latest cutting-edge gear and the stores that sell it here in New Bedford and Fairhaven.
So you're going to go back in history?
We're going to go back in history, back to the dory fishing days.
Wow. And so this is happening on Saturday, the Fisherman's Fashion Show.
Fisherman's Fashion Show, and it happens that Fashion Week in Boston starts on Monday, so we thought it was kind of a nice little segue.
Sure,
yes.
absolutely.
So that's at 2 p.m. It'll be on the contest stage.
Very, very good. Can't miss that. The weather's going to be great, folks, so plan on coming down. Is it free?
It is free. Free of charge, free parking at the Elm Street Garage.
Beautiful.
The meters are also free during the weekend, so you can park and walk. We have a little shuttle that runs from the Elm Street Garage to the festival site as well.
Now, Kirsten, are you going to teach me how to properly cook a lobster?
Well, I can do that.
Because I just boil the water and place it in there and boil the hell out of it. And that's not the way to do it, is it?
Well, I used to place it in boiling water, too, and then my husband taught me to put it in warm water instead and bring the water to a boil.
You see, we
so they
learned
don't die
something.
instantly, you know, they just kind of go to sleep.
But this year we actually have a lobster boat that's going to be at the festival. It's the Fishing Vessel Revolution. And they're going to be selling live lobsters right off the boat.
Ooh.
So, and in fact, you can take Lobster 101. That's on Saturday. I believe it's at 1:30 in our foodways area. And you will learn how to cook, and not only cook, but how to eat a lobster. Because lots of people, you know, they're used to having it out of the shell and on a bed of whatever, a pasta or lettuce or something. And, you know, this way you can do it at home.
Lobster 101 is something I want to attend. I mean that. By the way, how is Radar doing?
Did you hear he had major surgery?
No.
Well, hey, I'll talk about that with you later, but he had some major surgery last month, and he's doing very well.
Oh,
so
thank gosh.
you. Yes, he is. He's doing very well.
You see that? This is why we need festivals to catch up on. Tell us what else is going on Saturday and Sunday.
Sure. So Saturday, you know, I mentioned the fashion show. Another thing that's new this year is we're focusing on the objects of the industry. So we have an area set aside where you'll be able to see from radars a full-scale fishing net. And actually this particular net is a survey net that it was designed for the use of SMAS, the School of Marine Science and Technology, in the ground fishing surveys that they're doing. So that'll be particularly interesting. We'll have a large propeller, some engines, some chafing gear, a number of people demonstrating different skills of the industry, how to do rigging, how to do net making, how to make a scallop dredge. I mean, not that you do this at home, but just to understand what goes in.
Yeah.
Exactly. The flume tank, which we've had a couple of times in the past, is back.
Flume tank.
And maybe you want to say something about the flume tank?
Tell us about the flume tank.
Well, it holds 750 gallons of water.
Okay.
We store it at our place, actually. And Tor and a couple of other people make scale model nets and scallop dredges. But it has to be scale model. And they put it in the tank, and you can watch and see how it reacts under the water.
Interesting.
So you can see exactly how the net or the gear is fishing.
Fascinating.
It is. It's great to watch.
Tell us a little bit about the nets themselves. What kinds there are. What are their function? What do they do for
Well, that's the thing
scalloping?
today. We make a joke and say they design nets today not to catch fish because you're only allowed to catch so much and so much of this and so much of that.
What a shame.
So it's quite technical to design these nets, according to horsepower and the size of the boat and what species you're targeting, and a lot goes into making them.
And I'm thinking with all the rocks and things down there,
yes.
how do these nets, maneuver
Well, you
over
know,
that
actually, along the bottom, there's rubber, we call them rubber, rock hoppers or discs that go along the bottom of the wire that's holding the net. And some of them are very large, and that is to go over all the boulders under the water. They call them rock hoppers. So when it brings the net, it bounces over all that big stuff down there.
We just saw one of the largest scallops I've ever seen.
A U3 or a U2?
U2.
Yeah.
It was like a half a pound.
They can get large.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen a scallop that large. What will our visitors be able to do at the seafood festival, well, not seafood, at the Working Waterfront Festival in terms of scallops and in terms of eating delicious
Oh, absolutely.
seafood?
So there will be the scallops will be featured. There will be a shucking contest just because that's really fun. So
Okay, when
that's
is
at
that?
noon on Sunday.
On Sunday.
And then we do have a cooking demo that features a Nantucket scallop pie, and that's Heather Atwood, who just published a book called In Cod We Trust. Thought the title was pretty cute.
In cod, we trust.
She's coming down from Gloucester.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have a dining tent and a number of food vendors with incredible, delicious local seafood. So there will be a seafood hut from right here. And they'll be selling the fried fish and chips and scallop plates, as well as, I think, clam cakes. Yes. The Ox Cart, which is Oxford Creamery's little food cart, is going to be coming with lobster rolls and their quahog chowder. And I don't even remember what else is on their menu, but delicious food.
Sure.
So there's a lot to eat. So come hungry for sure.
That's it.
Those cooking demonstrations that I mentioned, they all end with a little tasting. So get your,
Even better.
little whet your appetite for something more. Sunday at the end of the day at the Foodways area, we cap it off with the Seafood Throwdown. This has become a staple event.
Yes.
We began it in 2009 in partnership with the Northwest Atlantic Marine Alliance. And it's a really fun kind of Iron Chef style thing where two chefs arrive. They can bring 3 of their favorite ingredients. There's a secret seafood. We are obviously going to speak about it on the radio, but we unveil that right then and there. Nobody knows what it is until that moment. Then the chefs get $25, 15 minutes. They go do a shopping spree in the farmer's market, which is available to anybody. It's got, fresh produce right there. They come back. They have an hour to cook and plate. We have a panel of judges. And this year it's Chef Chris Cronin from Little Moss, which is a relatively new restaurant in Peyton-Aram in South Dartmouth.
Awesome.
And he'll be competing against Rob Perney, who is the chef at Trafford, which is actually owned by somebody who lives in the Acushnet, but Trafford is in Warren, Rhode Island. So I think it'll be a really fun,
Sounds
fun
great.
competition.
And moms and dads, always something for the kids going on. You've covered that area from Z to A.
It is a great kids tent.
Yeah.
There's a great kids tent, lots of make and take activities,
Yeah.
opportunities to climb on board the boats, which, good for kids of all ages up till, 99 years old. So
Sure.
that's fun.
A lot of folks have never toured a scallop boat.
That's right. It's a highlight. It really is.
So the scallop boat will be letting people on board. The lobster boat this year will be letting people on board. We have a tugboat, and this year they're bringing a new tugboat. This is Conrad Roy's company, and they have the tugboat Morgan.
Nice.
So the Morgan is coming back.
Yay!
And we had the little lady Lady too, which is this old Stonington.
She's not able to come this year.
Oh no!
Sadly,
Oh no, that just happened.
Having engine trouble.
Okay.
Oh, so it just happened.
The Working Waterfront Festival, though, is open Saturday and Sunday. The hours?
Well, we start with whaleboat races at 8 a.m.
Wow.
So if you're an early riser, come cheer on the whaleboat
Where?
cruise. And that is at the end of Steamship Pier. Now, everybody knows State Pier,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So just south of State Pier.
Oh, okay.
If you walk out to the end, that's where you're going to view all of the on-water activities. So that'll go from 8 to about noon. The festival proper starts at 11, and that's true both days. Runs till 6 on Saturday and until 5 on Sunday. In addition to the whaleboat races, we have a tugboat muster that's really fun. So tugs from all over the area converge on the harbor, and they push and pull and shoot off their water cannons. It's a lot of fun, and from that vantage point at the end of Steamship Pier, the size and the scale is really just impressive. You know, they come right up to the...
How many of you listening were there 12 years ago, folks, at the very inception? I was there, and I remember how you've grown beautifully over the 12 years because of your persistence and hard work. And I know it's not easy. I know. I know. I'm sure there are times that we understand, you know, you say, oh, what's going on here? But you've put it together so well.
Well, we have an amazing team, you know, and I want to give a shout out. They're all down on the pier.
Yeah.
They've been there since yesterday morning, bright and early, and, you know, they'll be there right through Monday at the end of the day. And they just do a fabulous job. And especially, I want to say Jessica Bailey works year-round with us and keeps everything together. I mean, she's the one who just keeps me organized, keeps me on top of things, but also, you know, has just made a study of the fishing industry. And can't say enough good about Jess.
Betcha. You bet. And for those of you who plan on going down, park at the Elm Street Garage and just walk down the hill. It's going to be gorgeous weather. So come on by and join us.
Can I mention one other new activity?
I want you to mention everything, Laura.
So I have to say, this is the one where there's a little generation gap here. We decided.
There's a little generation gap.
There's a little generation gap, yeah. I laugh at them now when they start to forget things. I say, see, it's coming.
So we decided this year to try something else new, and we're going to have a nautical tattoo contest.
I saw that.
Now
who do we cheer for in this?
We're going to be taking the first 15 contestants that sign up, and we've actually got, I think, 10 or 11 already pre-registered.
Okay.
So you do not need to be in the fishing industry or, you know, a fisherman, but the tattoo needs to be nautical, and it needs to be not on a part of your body normally covered by a bathing suit. If you get that.
Come on, Laura.
We have 4 judges. A couple of them are tattoo artists themselves. Ray Canastra, who co-owns the seafood auction, is representing the industry as a judge, and Jess Bergoli, who's a local sculptor. So they'll be judging, and what they're going to judge on is not only the artistry or the art form of the tattoo and its concept, like is it a cool concept, how well did it get executed, but also the stage presence of the contestants. So we're looking for a little pizzazz, and they have to tell a story.
Isn't that awesome?
And that goes with our theme.
That goes with your theme, and the theme this year is
every object tells a story.
Yeah, and it really does. You think we'll get somebody who looks like Quick down there?
I wouldn't be surprised, actually. No, it's been interesting in terms of just getting the word out and promoting this. I've visited, I think, 6 or 7 tattoo parlors in the area. I'm, you know, not something I've done before, and so that was a pretty interesting.
Are they going to be there? Will any tattoo parlors be there?
Well, not exactly. They're being represented by a couple of the judges, and actually one of the newest tattoo parlors right at the foot of Union Street.
Yeah.
So Val G is one of our judges.
Right. Folks, you don't want to miss this. The 12th annual, and this year, a couple of brand new things: the fashion show, the tattoo contest. And always great food, wonderful activities, sea shanties.
Yes, I just realized we didn't speak about the music at all. So lots of music. Yes, sea shanties. Our New Bedford Harbor Sea Shanty Chorus will perform twice on Sunday. The Sharks Come Cruisin', who do sea shanties with sort of a rock and roll twist, will be performing. A band called Noir, which does Norwegian and Irish music. They'll be playing. Ambrose Wise is a new find, and they do Newfoundland traditional music. And then some real highlights. We've got Deb Cowan and John Roberts. Some of your listeners may know them. They've performed at the Folk Festival in the past. John Roberts is an Englishman, Deb Cowan, and they've just produced an album together. But that'll be sea music, traditional music. Larry Kaplan, who is not super well known, but his songs are very well known. He wrote a couple of songs about Zeb Tilton, the famous schooner captain from Martha's Vineyard. Everybody sings them. So Larry has quit his day job. I think he, I don't remember what he did for work. He's, in his early 60s and just said, you know what, I want to devote myself to music. And so he's now touring his own music around. And he's a wonderful singer and guitar player and has beautiful songs. Another new person this year is Bob Zed? No, not that. Uh-oh. Bob Zentz. It
happens
Sorry.
to me all the time.
It's just starting now. It's the cold.
No generation gap here.
There you go. So Bob Zentz, who's coming up from the Chesapeake Bay area and plays 1 million instruments. In fact, they said they asked if they could have a petting zoo for their instruments.
Oh my God!
So at one
That's
point,
funny.
At one point on Saturday, you can find them in the Wharfinger building with the instruments all laid out on a table, and you'll get a chance to touch and check those out. He's actually going to be one of the folks going into schools. Tomorrow we always bring our performers into the schools. So Bob will be at the Global Learning Charter School. Dave Densmore.
Well, of course, Dave Densmore's going to be back.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Perennial favorite.
And John Campbell, too.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Yep.
In fact, John Campbell, I should say, was a little bit the inspiration for the fashion show, and John will be singing his wonderful song, Fredericks of Galilee.
Wow,
It's a hoot.
Fredericks.
Oh, it's a hoot. A song.
I would like to see models on that one.
There you go. Well, maybe next year we'll do something just based on that theme.
Are there any women in the industry who go out on the boats?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think we ought to have Fredericks be... I would also love to ask you, what, if anything, would you suggest that a first-timer really learn about? What would you say, you have to find out about this or gain a little knowledge about that if you were, the docent here?
Well, I think you want to talk to people. You want to take the opportunity. This festival is not scripted, except for the fashion show. It's the only time we've had a script. But other than that, we basically just create an opportunity for people to come and get to know the fishing community. And the way that you do that is by taking a tour of a boat and asking questions. Yeah. Or watching Matt Lemieux make his scallop bag and asking him questions.
Sure.
It's also really great. I think the contests show off those industry skills in a really good way. And they're emceed by people who work in the industry. So Tova is sort of the stage manager MC. She does a fabulous job. She's Kirsten's daughter.
Love it.
But her brother, Tor, is the person who MCs that net mending contest.
Yes.
And he spends his days designing nets, so who better to do that?
You bet.
Richie Canastra MCs our scallop shucking contest.
Yeah.
He's the co-owner of the seafood auction. Matt Lemieux MCs the link squeezing contest. So each of them, as the contest is going on and people are having fun watching the skills, you're also learning a tremendous amount. I would say that's true in the foodways area too. You're learning how to cook. You're learning about the species that are being cooked. You're learning different ethnic approaches. This year we've got North African monkfish stew. We've got Bengali fish chowder. Wow. What else do we have? We've got bacalhau, which is of course Portuguese, well known to people here. But lots of different opportunities to think about how do different people in different parts of the world cook and eat seafood.
In the Coast and magazine, folks, you want to pick up a copy of Fishing for Knowledge because they do a beautiful job highlighting the Working Waterfront Festival this weekend. There's a Jim Kendall quote saying something to the effect, I've been in the business for about 50 years and I'm still learning. Still learning. Each and, every week there's something to learn. And folks, there always is at the Working Waterfront Festival.
I should also, you just mentioned Jim Kendall. Jim and his wife Verna have been very involved for all these years in producing the Blessing of the Fleet, and that's become part of our event. It takes place on Sunday at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
So, and that'll also be best viewed from Steamship Pier.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge tradition. And we want you to go by. What is it that I didn't ask that you'd like to tell our friends about not only the Port of New Bedford, but the Working Waterfront Festival?
I'll mention that we have a number of authors, I think 7 authors who are coming to sign their books, and those books will be for sale. We have a little festival store. A portion of the proceeds goes to support the festival, so we encourage you to support these local authors. Most of them are independent authors and support the festival. We have a couple of raffles that'll be going on. A number of the folks that supplied gear for the fashion show have donated some incredible gear that's, you could wear it on a fishing boat, but you could also wear it, you know, sailing or just out in the weather. So it's available for anyone. I also want to mention we have a limited number of our program guides. We've been trying to conserve some of the paper. Sure. So they will be available, but if you want to get a head start, if you go on our website, you can download the entire program guide or just read it online. Yeah. And the website is workingwaterfrontfestival.org. So there's a link to that.
That is 12 years in the making and getting better and better every single year. This is going to be the best one yet. September 26th and 27th. Saturday 11 to 6 and Sunday 11 to 5. Folks, you need to come by. This is what New Bedford is all about. Learn about the #1 industry. Without the fishing industry, goodbye New Bedford. It's along with its ancillary businesses, close to $1 billion a year, folks. Take that out of the economy and, well, I don't have to tell you what would happen. So, by all means, come by, if for no other reason, to say thank you to the hard-working people of the waterfront. Let me leave you both with the last word. Kirsten, you still didn't bring any codfish balls for me, but I'll... And by the way, give Radar a hug for me. I'm happy that he's doing better.
He is. He's wonderful.
Any last words about the Working Waterfront Festival?
No. Just please come down and enjoy the weather. The temperature's going to be beautiful, too, for being out on the piers and eating fish. And,
I just realized I didn't mention on Friday evening, and I didn't even mention that this is happening at all. So Schooner Adventure, which is a sort of a sister ship to the Schooner Ernestina. Oh, okay. Built in Gloucester, fished for, I think, 40 years on the Grand Banks. This is the first year that she is sailing in 25 years. So she is sailing to New Bedford. Oh, wow. She's actually probably underway right now. She'll be arriving sometime tomorrow, and she'll be here throughout the weekend offering dockside tours. Friday evening, they are having a little benefit concert on board the Schooner Adventure. A number of the performers who are part of our festival will be performing. It's a $10 ticket, and all of the proceeds go to support the Schooner Adventure. Well worth it. We know how much, you know, from our owner, Ernestina, how much money it costs to keep an old boat, you know, wooden boat going.
And now our Ernestina is being repaired as we speak, right?
She is, and that's part of why I thought it was a really nice thing to have Adventure here to kind of keep in mind Ernestina.
You're always thinking, Miss Laura.
So come down, come eat lunch. You know, the festival is free. You have to pay for the food, but that's, you know,
that's normal and reasonable.
And that's normal and reasonable. Wonderful artisans as well, if you want to get a head start on your holiday shopping.
Harbor tours.
Harbor tours, absolutely. Jeff Pontiff does an amazing job.
Yes.
Get in line early, because those
yes,
line
they
up
do.
for that.
Say hello to Jeff for me. Wow, you two have filleted the fish quite well, I might say.
Oh, and Carlos Rafael filleting fish, yes. 4:30 p.m. on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's always a delight. I mean this. We love you both. We love you, what you do, who you are. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate your support, Phil.
You betcha. Yeah. Count on us all the time to be there for you, Laura. Thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you, Phil.
We're just about ready to say so long, and we'll be right back to do that. Don't go away.